Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu, Telliano. Is that you?
What fall is that you?
This is episode 268, 268 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu is where you can get early access to the video version of this podcast. This is where you can get access to the pre-show to this episode of the podcast. This is where you can get access to the Patreon exclusive podcast, The After Story. A new one just went up Saturday. It's After Story 79. It's game industry and Patreon plans. So take a listen to that. It's also where you can get access to our individual video Take Talk content. So that's all coming to Patreon this week. We're going to start bringing up each individual Take Talks and pre-shows and the after story. It's all back, baby. It's all back. So thank y'all so much for supporting us on Patreon. We love you. We couldn't do this without y'all, especially the Patreon producer. Shout out to the Patreon producer, Christian, the Archivist, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk podcast. Make sure you check out Dad Needs to Talk podcast. Fear, Jay Lee Trey from Shogo High podcast. Make sure y'all check out Shogo High podcast. Kent the Pro from Chaotic Culture and Shogo High. Make sure you check out Chaotic Culture podcast. Explicitly, All for One, Matt, Monique Williams, Simi Sensei, hashtag Simi says, Phrozen, Rob, Stone, and last but certainly not least, our guy, TMONEYFINGERS. Thank y'all so much for producing this and a whole hell of a lot more episodes of the podcast. We couldn't do it without y'all. Y'all keep the lights on. We love you so very much. It's a very special episode this week because this is the 2024 fall anime preview episode where we go through and build up our anime list for fall. Now, what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to create an updated anime list video. I did one years ago, but I'm going to create an updated anime list video to show y'all how we work anime list and how we set up our list for anime seasons. So it can help y'all keep track of the anime that y'all want to watch and stuff like that. So I hope y'all are excited. Please be excited for that as well. But I'm looking forward to this fall, mostly for the returning stuff, but we'll get to that a bunch later. Tell, how you feeling?
Hear me out, bro. I did a lot of schoolwork today. And it's all gaming related. But I'm in a research class right now, and I'm basically researching gaming, and I'm also researching parallels into like cybersecurity and whatnot. So different industries within gaming, like cybersecurity, networking, graphic design, software engineering, all that kind of stuff, right? Let me tell you, I love this shit, bro.
You found it.
I love this shit. And it's just like, all of it is so like, it's just so interesting. And a lot of it is stuff that I already know about. So I go out of my way to choose like harder stuff to do.
Right.
Because why the fuck not? I already got an A. I already know I'm gonna get an A. So I go out of my way to like engulf myself in the harder aspects, things I just don't already know. Just so I can kind of build up a little bit more of that knowledge. I haven't gotten to programming yet, but programming starts next month, which is going to be amazing. I'm so excited for it.
Clean.
But I want to say overall, I'm enjoying that, bro. I really am enjoying what I'm doing. I'm enjoying even some of the people I meet. Because I am online, right? I am online. So I have to find ways to engage, right?
Right.
So part of my personal test is I'm trying to force myself to engage with others more outside of like just the podcast, but just engage with people more, right? And
in real life.
just in general, right? Yeah, like in real life, in my classes, that kind of stuff. And what I found is like the discussion boards. I've commented more than anyone else in our class, just on everybody's stuff, just to engage more. And I've gotten so many messages just wanting to talk to me about random stuff.
That's super dope.
That's also a slight way I've been promoting the podcast. But it's one of those things where it's so nice to have this specific area of like-minded individuals that it's damn near got me 2 seconds away from quitting my job, so I can just
focus on
just focus on this solely and just be done. Like, I'm just gonna do anime and gaming, and then my wife. So we, bro, I'm so close to just like mentally being done with everything that's not family, wife, and you know, my wife, my kids, and anime and gaming. Like, everything else is so close to being done. But I'm enjoying it, bro. How about you, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good to see that. Because and this might come off the wrong way, but I'm glad to see you focused on something that you enjoy more so than anything else. Like, I know you enjoy working out and stuff, but I think something like this you would enjoy. So I'm glad you stepped in it and you are enjoying it. So that's dope. So for me, man, it's been the same. It's just been fantastic recently. I picked it back up on streaming, and this time I decided to go the route of streaming whatever the fuck I want instead of focusing on the one game that I got most popular on. And since I started doing that, I almost have 2,700 followers on Twitch now. It's been only a few days since I've been back, but almost 50 subs. It's been fantastic being back to streaming again. And it's been a great outlet for just escaping, the stuff that I was struggling with just the last month. So I want to say thank y'all, everybody, for coming through the stream, twitch.tv/PolowBornFly. It's been a whole hell of a lot of fun. I cannot wait to share with what we're doing next too. We always tease it and hint at it, but this whole gaming podcast is going to be, I think it's going to be extremely special now that I feel like I have, it's not going to be, it's the same, but video games basically, but I'm looking forward to sharing more details about that much later. So I'm looking forward to it, but it's been a fantastic set a couple of weeks. Outside of last week, we missed last week. Unfortunately, we had an incident happen, so we couldn't record, unfortunately. And I thank y'all so much for understanding. It's been we've missed the most episodes that we've had in the last 2 months than we've ever have in the 5 years of doing this. Like, we have not missed this many episodes ever, and we don't plan on missing as much, only if there's an absolute reason to, and it absolutely was a reason to. We're not going to talk about it, but it's just good to have y'all always just like, yo, whenever y'all need to come back, and that love and support is gratefully received. Shout out to YouTube. For some reason, YouTube has been picking up. We don't do much with that. We have to start getting YouTube more involved, because I do feel like we can be successful over there too, because our podcast numbers are always great. They're always fucking out of this world. Unbelievable the amount of podcast numbers we got for as far as listeners go, because of we don't do much promoting. But YouTube, if you're on YouTube, feel free to subscribe, like the video, and share it with everybody. It helps us quite a bit. Leave a comment on the video if you want. If you have any conversations that you want us to have on the podcast, feel free to leave that comment, because we will bring it up on the show. Shout out to Rob Stone, one of the Patreon producers, who always leaves a fantastic comment on YouTube, and I love reading it every week. When he don't leave a comment on a YouTube video, I'm like, damn, I wonder if Rob Stone, all right, because we look forward to reading them, because they're just so much fun to talk about. But all right, let's get into some anime before we get into the main topic of the show, which is the 2024 fall anime preview, and build our anime lists. Let's talk about our episodes of the past 2 weeks. And I'm going to start. My episode last week, or 2 weeks ago, episode of the week was Yatagarasu. I know we like to say we don't like to use previous seasons, but it's impossible for me not to pick Yatagarasu last week, because it was just that good. Because Yatagarasu 2 weeks ago hit us with an almost Astra lost in space kind of revelation. So I'm going to save it because we're talking about Yatagarasu spoiler talk in the second half of the show. Unequivocally, we have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one in particular. And then this week, for this week's episode of the week, it's actually Wistoria. Wistoria had one of the better paced episodes they've had all season, and it was impactful. It was intriguing. It was interesting. And then I love the way it ended. Like the way it ended with the credits rolling and it continued on in the story, and then the way it finalized in that last part, it was brilliant. It was a brilliantly paced episode for Wistoria. So Yatagarasu for 2 weeks ago and Wistoria for this week. Telliano, what was your episodes of the week?
Last week was a struggle for me to pick because I was struggling between picking Shoshimin.
Oh my God, yeah.
Last week, because that episode was just crazy. And it was all conversational. It was brilliant, though. But it was a great episode. But then I also had to choose between Days with My Stepsister. Mm-hmm. Which, what was that last week? Yeah, I think that was last week, where I was just like, yo.
Yes.
This is on another level.
It's going the way we want, too. On some level.
Yeah, so last week for me, it was Shoshimin. This week, and I don't care what nobody say, I almost cried this week just because of like, I love a good episode where the one of the characters get everything they want out of life in a moment, and I don't care if this is a meathead moment. Ossan newbie adventurer.
Yeah, good. It was really good.
I was like so invested in this episode. I was like, hold the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Because look, I feel you about everything about Wistoria, and I'm not saying that. I think Wistoria was definitely a better episode this week too. I would even go. It was a lot of good episodes this week. But Ossan newbie adventurer, I just wasn't expecting all of that out of this episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it kind of made my blood boil with excitement, like in a way that my hero just hasn't in a while. So it fulfilled something in me this week. So I'm gonna go with Ossan newbie adventurer.
Yeah, that was a great episode. And as we say every week, we gotta give these mentions to Oshinoko. So, okay, I'm gonna help establish the second half of the show for the spoiler half. Spoiler half is Yatagarasu. We have to do Oshinoko. And I will probably say maybe too many losing heroines for Kamari's rap.
Yeah, we can do that.
So we'll do those three on the second half of the show. For the uninitiated, our show is broken up into two halves. We do a break and then we go into spoiler talk for specific episodes of shows we want to go deep dive into for like in spoil or whatnot. So those are the three we're going to spoil in the second half of the show. But now it's time for the patented preview, anime preview season. The way we do it is that we involve our community. We post in our forum threads and on Twitter. We get a sleeper, and I'm gonna just read what I posted here. So 2024 fall anime is on the way. Drop your most anticipated shows. Drop one sleeper pick for the fall anime sleeper. A sleeper means a show that you know nothing about, you didn't read, and you never heard of, but when you're browsing on any list, it looks interesting. So to go with this episode of Mic Check Waifu Waifu, there is a video on our YouTube, youtube.com/@MicCheckWaifuWaifu, of me showing you how to set up AniList and like set up a list and how do you kind of utilize that to help you keep track of your anime. So this kind of goes with that. Along with a link to the fall anime season preview. So if you wanted to click that and if you're not driving or anything, obviously click that and kind of build your list along with us. Let's do that. So the way we do it is that we go through and we pick sleepers, we share our most anticipated and give our thoughts on what the season's looking like. And we also choose a show that we're going to review at the end of the season, which is always one of these shows. For summer season, Makine Too Many Losing Heroines is going to be the show that we're going to review probably next week, because I think it wraps next week. So that'll be the one we review next week. Plus we give our closing thoughts as well on the summer season, because everything is pretty much done next week. So that's good. But all right. You want to start with the community? How do we do this? Do we start with the community?
We always
start the community first. That's it. I said, okay, I'm gonna start off with Crystal Light if you don't mind in the Discord.
Of course.
Crystal Light, most anticipated, is as reincarnated as an aristocrat. I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. Season 2, which is wonderful. We got season 1 this year, just last season, which was one of our favorite shows last season. Actually, probably was our number 1 show last season if I had to guess. Season 2 that starts ReZero, and ReZero, of course, are her most anticipated. And her sleeper, she chose Nina, the Starry Bride. But she's always good at picking up shoujo. Now, the thing with Crystal, for those of you who are new to our community, her sleeper picks never miss. Never, not once.
Not ever.
And I think she's been in this community for the entire 5 years. So I don't think she's ever had a terrible sleeper pick. So add Nina, the Starry Bride, to your Annie list or to your list, and you probably won't be disappointed. Okay. Sorry, I had to take a sip. Right.
Go ahead. Quench your thirst.
You want me to continue?
Oh, yeah. Let me see.
I'll continue with Kilo.
I was going to say, I can do Kilo. I got it right here.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
All right, Kilo says, not going to hold y'all fall looking type ass. Oh, goodness. But I'm sure y'all will sell me on another show that wasn't on my radar, which we normally do. You already know what we do. He said, Kilo's a guy. Most anticipated Don. So I do got to add it to my list. ReZero season 3. You know we're there. Uzumaki. I'm hyped for it. Dragon Ball Daima. I actually got some anticipation for that. I don't know how hype it's gonna be, but I'm gonna watch it. Ari Ferretta season 3. I'm only watching it because I know Polow gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And then the sleeper chosen is Trillion Game.
Okay, so let's go back to pull up Trillion Game for me. I'm going to pull up Nina's The Starry Bride, and we're going to read these synopsis for y'all. Fall. Let's see if I can find it quickly.
All right, I got you right here, brother.
So you bring up, was it Trillion Game you said?
Yeah, Trillion Game.
That sounds actually crazy. And that can go one of two ways.
Okay, my bad. All right. Old school mates Haru and Gaku will do anything to achieve success, and success to them means earning $1 trillion. But to do so, they'll need to take full advantage of their own unique skills. Haru is a persuasive and confident speaker who can connect with anyone, while Gaku, although awkward, is an expert programmer. Will their combined talents be enough to make their dream a reality? They trying to make $1 trillion, which is crazy.
I'm going to give it the watching. However, this don't look good. I'm going to be real.
Hey, but that's the point in the sleeper.
That's exactly where I was about to go next. That is the point of picking that sleeper, because you don't know. You never know. It looks ass from the offset. But what if it ended up being one of the best shows we watched this season? Because you don't know. Which with sleepers too is the thing with sleepers is that you have to watch it all the way through. You have to. Mm-hmm. Like if you choose it, you got to watch it all the way through, no matter what, no matter how bad, just so we can talk about it at the end of the season, just so you can post about it in the Mic Check Waifu Discord, which is open to everybody. Feel free to join discord.miccheckwaifu.com. Feel free to join it. It's open to anybody. So when we have that, season wrap up form, you could drop your thoughts on what your sleeper was and how they turn out. And you never know. It could be one of the best. Now let's go to, I'm going to go to Crystal Sleeper. It's Nina, the Starry Bride. Nina is a girl living as an orphan in the Forta Castle Town. Happens to have the eyes of the... sorry, I got to widen this up a little bit. Here it is. Happens to have the eyes of the same deep blue hue as the lapis lazuli, just like the god of the stars. They are also the same color as the eyes of the recent deceased princess Alicia. For that reason, when the second prince of Fortuna, Azor, discovers Nina, he ordains that she will live as the princess in Alicia's place. As a substitute princess, the priestess of the stars, Nina, is obligated to discover to neighboring nation of Gaudagia. After the third month has passed, despite being at the mercy of fate, Nina is just happy to feel needed by someone. What is it? Is it her open and honest eyes, the destinies of all the players on this stage began to move when they make up their minds to protect the ones they love. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
What was that slime? What was that one? She got kicked out of her village for having no stars.
I was just thinking about that the other day, and I could not remember the name of it, but it was such a good show.
Crystal's yelling the name at her.
I know. Crystal and Christian gonna both yell at us.
I don't remember the name of that one. Weakest Tamer.
Yeah, there you go.
Weakest Tamer. That's what it was. That's what this reminds me of. I'm adding it to watch it because obviously it's a Crystal sleeper and you don't miss it. It airs in 24 days. It's a long time from now.
There's a couple that still got some ways out.
Yeah, that's why we like to do this as late as possible. But it is what it is. Okay, going back to the forums. Let's go to my guy.
You know what I forgot?
What?
Demon Lord Retry gets another season.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little later. Let's move to our guy TK, aka at TK Does Nothing on Twitter. He says most anticipated Dan, which I'm hearing a lot about, and his sleeper pick is actually Yakuza Fiancé.
Oh my God.
That one does look very, very interesting. Yakuza Fiancé. Somi Reggie is Somi Yoshino's grandfather and the leader of the Somi group, the Kansai region's biggest Yakuza group. When he arranges for her to be married to Miyama Kishiyama, Yoshino has to move to the Miyama clan estate, the Kanto region's biggest Yakuza group. Kishiyama warmly welcomes Yoshino to such a pleasant and personable and a nice young man that nobody would expect that he comes from the Yakuza family. This puts Yoshino at ease, even though she initially feeling insecure in this unfamiliar place. But then a certain level leads to Yoshino's witnessing the real Kirishima. That's how you say his name, Kirishima. Yeah, Yakuza Fiancé.
Yeah. So I actually wasn't going to add it to my watch list, but
really?
Because it's chosen as a sleeper, I am going to watch it. And now I was thinking that it was going to be good because you know how the Yakuza, married to Yakuza people, it's always extra and extreme, but maybe this one looks a little bit more refined in that regard. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it could be really good. Now, you want to move on to TMONEYFINGERS?
Yes, sir. Please do.
TMONEYFINGERS says, I'm looking at this season and damn, so many sequels.
Facts.
Most anticipated, of course, our GOAT, ReZero. Also, I'm hyped to see how they pull off a show called If My Wife Became an Elementary School Student. The more I look into it, I think this might actually be good. It seems wholesome and not terrible. Changing it to my sleeper. Now, hear me out. I don't know how this show is gonna go, but I did. I got like a reel on Instagram I saw where a dude was saying it's not what you think it is. And he says basically the show does not go like any kind of romance towards her when she becomes an elementary school student, because she basically just does not do that at all, right? She lives her life as an entirely different person. Now, I am also interested in seeing how it goes, and I am also going to watch it. Now, if it does get weird, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm dropping it. But I'm also going to tell you this. With the advent of Haji Hiro and Days with My Stepsister,
yeah,
I kind of feel like some of these shows are not as... They're misleading intentionally, but not as bad as they mislead you to believe, if that makes sense.
And hear me out. I don't think it's misleading intentionally. I think it's translation, right? I think it's probably said in a way differently in Japan, like the Japanese title, than it is translated to. Because I think what we do is we one-to-one translate in a way that makes it seem weird. And I think that in the Japanese culture, it probably says it's probably said in a completely different manner that don't seem as raunchy, right? Or as weird. So I am with you there. I'm going to start taking these more with an open mind because, like you said, Days with My Stepsister, Haji Hiro, and this one seems extremely interesting to the point where it's like, okay, I'm liking where this is going. Days with My Stepsister is nothing how the title sound. But if you hear Days with My Stepsister, it just sounds crazy. It's Days with My Stepsister in the genre of romance with the drama of slice of life. Where do you think that goes? And it's not where you think. So give these more chances. Give these more chances.
Yeah, and actually, I'm gonna read the synopsis for this real quick.
Please do.
Let me click on it. All right. And the Japanese name is Suma Shugo Kusei ni Naru. The story follows Kisuke Nijima, who lost his beloved wife, Take, 10 years ago, and their daughter, Mai. They have been in a state of despair since Take's death. One evening, an elementary school girl visits the Nijima family, claiming to be reincarnation of Take. At first, they don't believe her, but the girl continues to give them information that only the family knows. Kisuke and Mai soon recognize her as Take, and the three begin to act together as a family.
See, it sounds weird, but
it does sound weird. But like I said, I don't want to say too much because I got a little bit of synopsis. But from what I heard from like the first chapter, it's not like that. Okay. It ain't like that at all.
Okay. I'm gonna keep to it then. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna give it the chance that we always do. All right. I'm gonna go on to Christian the Archivist, the Patreon producer. He says, I'm with TMONEYFINGERS on the one we just mentioned. He said it could be quite good. His most anticipated. This is how he laid it out. Most anticipated. Number 5, Tying the Knot with an Akagami sister. Number 4, Yakuza Fiancé. Number 3, Loner Life in Another World. Number 2, Reincarnated as an Aristocrat, season 2. Number 1, Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Yes. And this is the conflict portion of it. So looking forward to that. And it's Sleeper, last but not least, 365 days to the wedding.
What?
Yeah. 365 days to the wedding. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up and then give me a read on the. Oh, it's not coming up. Oh, it's because there it is. Let's give this a read.
Okay. Oh, you got it?
Yep. Takua and Rika are co-workers in a travel agency in Tokyo. They're both single. They both don't mind since they're introverts with fulfilling their lives at home. Unfortunately, now their job is looking to staff an office in Siberia. And non-married employees are the first to be considered. Rika is desperate to avoid the transfer and goes to Takia with an idea. They pretend that they're getting married in a year. They can stay in Tokyo. The only problem is the two of them barely know each other. If these two quiet coworkers fake, in quotes, a relationship, will it turn into something real? Ooh, Christian, the Archivist. What a pick. Definitely getting at it.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
That sounds really good. That sounds really, really good. Okay. Moving on to our guy, All For One Matt.
All right. Our brother, All For One Matt, says, most anticipated new shows, Talker Runs the Greatest Clan, which I did not come across that one yet. Happy Wedding and A Lonely Attack on a Different World. Most anticipated returning shows, Don Machi Season 5,
yes,
which we'll be watching that, of course. Blue Lock Season 2, which I will probably watch it. I'm not sure yet. ReZero Season 3.
Yes.
Be in there. All right, if you're at Season 3, yeah, we there. Sleeper, Tying the Knot with an Amagami sister. Let me go there. I just scrolled past that one.
Tying the Knot.
Here it is.
I'm glad I didn't peek at the season that much.
Yeah, I'm just going like looking at it right now.
Yeah,
as you know. Uryu Kamahari is a high school student striving to enter Kyoto University's medical school. After being raised at an orphanage, Uryu is taken in by the chief priest at Amagami Shrine, where he begins to live as a freeloader and to cohabitate with Yai, Yuna, and Asahi, the three beautiful shrine maiden sisters. What's more, the condition he must meet in order to live at the shrine for free is to marry into the family and inherit the shrine. How will Uryu overcome his marriage meetings with the three sisters, as well as the many challenges with Amagami Shrine faces? So begins a miraculous rom-com about living under the same roof with three shrine maidens.
Sounds a lot like Cafe Terrace, which is really good. It's been really good. Great comedy. Very quintessential quintuplets. This is not as quintessential quintuplets as that, but it seems very neat. I always thought shrine maidens couldn't get married, but I guess I'm definitely wrong with that. It's a harem, so you know I'm there.
I don't know how, because they not nuns, you know what I mean?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I only know about nuns. You know what I mean? I don't.
All right, moving on to our guy TCB. He says most anticipated Dan to Dan, which we again hear a lot about. Dragon Ball Daima, Blue Lock Season 2, and the Ranma 1/2. I assume that means. And then his sleeper is Goodbye Dragon Life. Pull that up a little bit later, but he says a lot of fall shows are sequels that I haven't seen prior seasons to. So that's like 90% of all of them. Guess because of that, I don't really have a lot on my list that I'm really looking out for. Maybe I'll get off my ass and go through my backlog for a change. Only got 3 sequels I'm going to watch. The fact that ReZero isn't in your most anticipated, crazy. But join us because we are rewatching ReZero Season 1 this week. More on that later. Okay. Goodbye. What did it say? Goodbye
Dragon Life.
Dragon Life. There we go. Let's give this one a read. Long ago, the most ancient of divine dragons was slain by a human. The mighty dragon accepted its death when suddenly it was reborn as Dolan, a man who lives in a quiet village. While spending another peaceful day toiling in the fields, he meets Selena, a half-human, half-snake creature looking for a partner. The unlikely duo becomes friends, but challenges lie ahead that threaten their new bond. This seems interesting. Who is the studio that does this one? That is... Never heard of them.
It be like that sometimes.
Yeah, so the studio is Synergy SP and Vega Entertainment. So Vega did Battle Game in 5 seconds.
Oh my God, that was one of my sleepers.
Way back in the day. Synergy.
That was like 2 years ago.
Synergies did Salabola of Eccentrics. That was actually a really good show that I enjoyed. Shout out to, I think, TCB that recommended that when I watched that entire thing. It was really good. They did Girlfriend Season 2. Okay. Sweet Reincarnation. They did that one too. They also did a couple of cuckoo. Oh no, this might be fire. This might actually be fire. As far as look goes, I'm expecting it to look a lot better than it seems. So, okay. I'm gonna add that to the watching. All right, that's done. Hey, next you get to do our guy, Frozen.
What's happening, Phrozen? All right, Phrozen has chosen most anticipated reincarnated aristocrat, which, of course, Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, Spirit Chronicles, Don, Sleeper, The Blue Wolves of Mibu, Love a Good Period Piece, which I think that's one I was actually just looking at a minute ago. I was just looking at the synopsis on that one a minute ago. So let me go ahead and pull that one up. But he also says almost chose Orb on the movements of Earth as my sleeper because man, that synopsis is so interesting. Oh, and I gotta check out the Dragon Ball Daima Rip Toriyama facts. But I want to read both of those because I was looking at the Orbs on the movement of Earth as well. But let me see here. Orb on the movements of Earth. Let's read that one real quick. The setting is the 15th century Poland. It was a time when heretical ideas led those two who possessed such a mindset of or to being burned at the stake for their beliefs. Okay. The protagonist, Raphael, a child prodigy, is expected to major in theology, the most important subject at the time, at the university where he plans to skip a grade. One day, however, he comes across a mysterious man and is now studying a possible truth in the midst of heretical thought. This seems like a brain tickler.
I was just about to say, it sounds like a word salad, though, to be honest.
It does. So I'm gonna give it the 3-episode rule.
100%. 100%. I'm gonna check the studio. Oh, it's Madhouse. Oh, definitely watching it. No question. No question. Yeah, I don't even need to go anywhere else. It's Madhouse.
And then
this one might be actually incredible. Then
it might be. You ain't wrong.
Madhouse don't pick up garbage.
And this is the one I was just looking at. I Know Mibu, or the Blue Wolves of Mibu. It's 1863, which these specific shogun time frames have been hitting lately.
Yeah.
The twilight of the shogunate, and Japan is on the cusp of a monumental change. The streets of the nation's capital are soaked in blood as political upheaval and the rising tensions between masterless wandering ronin and government samurai set the stage for one of the most turbulent times in Japan's history. Young orphan Neo is no stranger to the harsh realities of the world, and yet he can't help but cling to his burning passion for justice and desire to change the world for the better. One day he crosses paths with two men who will become central figures of the coming revolution. Hijikata Toshizo and Okita Soji, two of the founding members of a group of hated ronin known as the Mibu, who would later be...
You had to hit read more.
who would later become known as Shinzengumi. Inspired by the efforts of the so-called Blue Wolves of Mibu, Neo decides to join the ranks to help carve a path to the world he wishes to see. But with new betrayals and reversals every day, will Neo be able to stay true to his conscience?
Interesting, because it's Maho Film Studios that's doing this. They did Dr. Elise, the royal lady in the Lady Camp with the Lamp or whatever. That show I absolutely loved. I sing its praises. I will continue to sing its praises. Dr. Elise is a fantastic shoujo anime that I can't recommend enough. And then they also did stuff like, they also did one of our favorite comedies, a playthrough of a certain dude's MMO, VR MMO. No, that's not the one. That's not the good one. Never mind. It was decent, but it wasn't good. Yeah, so they're in between, right? They're in between great and then terrible, because they also did my unique skill. Makes me OP even at level 1. Standing on 1,000,000 lives they did. So they're kind of like all over the place. By the grace of God, they did both season 1 and season 2, which was good.
So they got some hits and they got some misses.
Yeah. Land of Liddell they did, which I don't know why Land of Liddell only got a 68% on it. That irritates me. But interesting concept. I'm looking forward to them, to this one particular. Okay. Continue with Discord with our guy Sphere. He says the sleeper is 365 to the wedding. We already read that one. So yeah, 365 days to the wedding. I'm looking forward to that one. Most anticipated, Warp on the movements of the earth. Wanted this for my sleeper, but read about it. So he knows the rules. Shout out to Fear for participating in that. The Blue Wolves of Mibu, which we just talked about. Dragon Ball Daima. Seirei Gansuki, Spirit Chronicles season. I should have just said Spirit Chronicles. Spirit Chronicles season 2. This is one I watched a long time ago and forgot all about. Like, I don't remember nothing from it. So I'm looking forward to season 2 too, but I don't remember it. And then Blue Box.
Yeah, I thought we watched Spirit Chronicles.
We did
together. Yeah.
But I don't remember anything about it. He said, I feel like my sleeper will be weak, but I'm hoping it'll be funny. I don't know, man. I think that's a great sleeper pick. I really, really do. So since we already read every synopsis that he posted there, I'm going to slide over to Twitter.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to slide over to Twitter. For the sleepers pick that we haven't read already, could you knock them out for me?
For the sleeper picks we haven't read already?
Yeah, like when I go through these, so I don't got to switch back and forth. We're going to start with our guy, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk podcast. He tweeted at us and said, most anticipated Orbs on the movement of the earth. I'm excited to see how Madhouse adapt this after what they did with Phrozen last year. Super excited about that. Can you read the Blue Box synopsis when I'm finished? That's his sleeper pick. His sleeper pick is Blue Box. He says it's a slice of life, sports, and romance. Should make a nice mix. And then he said, I think it overall will be solid for this season of fall.
All right. Blue Box. Do these sports cross lovers have a chance? Taiki Inomata loves badminton, but he has a long way to go before he can reach nationals. When Taiki sees upperclassman Chinatsu Kano practicing her heart out on the girls' basketball team, he falls for her hard. After an unexpected turn of events brings the two closer together, sports might not be the first thing on their minds anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all watch that first.
I already got it set to watch, and I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because I'm not a sports guy like at all. So
It ain't gonna be the first thing on their mind, bro. Lo.
I know. All right, let's go to our guy Rob Stone on YouTube as always. He mentioned how we talked about in our last episode how we talked about us and Phrozen being bang on and how he's worried about the change of tone in yatagarasu. But he said this arc is making the fantasy elements feel more relevant than they were in the first arc. That said, I disagree about the crisis uniting the people. I think it will cause more divisions that the others, East, West, and the South houses will try to use. On another matter, I am glad that the other women are sticking around as ladies in waiting. Well, I think it's only the one redhead lady that's sticking around, but I digress. He says, right, this fall season, ignoring the ReZero shaped elephant in the room, my most anticipated is Blue Box. He says, I've picked up the manga and read it as well. I've heard good things, so no further knowledge beyond the premise. Okay, Blue Box might get a chance, might get added to the list then. But he said as a sleeper is Orbs on the Movements. Okay. Orbs on the Movements of Earth, because the trailer looks like it's a Japan takes on the cornucopias. I said cornucopias. What the fuck am I talking about? The Copernicus versus the Church. Cornucopicus. I'm sorry, I don't know what that word is. And this will infuriate me as an historian. Sorry, I fucked that. Me reading that probably infuriated you, and I'm so sorry about that. But he says, hopefully in the good way, not a terrible, boring way. Sweet. Oh, he also added, I said, I'm so happy. I said, I also replied to his comment, said, I'm so happy that you got your sleeper and you're anticipating it. He said, yeah, I saw the tweet and I thought I'd look through the shows. Didn't realize Aristocrat was coming back so soon. So, so that is up there with ReZero as the most anticipated returning shows. Orb is more of a risk than my usual sleepers, but I think it should be an interesting pick. I agree with that. But he said this week's Yatagarasu just upended what we knew about the world, and I'm looking forward to your discussion on it. That's going to be in the second half of the show.
Coming soon.
All right, now let's go to the next person. All right, let's go to Miss Kita. Kita says, most anticipated, Blue Lock, Yakuza Fiancé, You Are, Ms.Servant, ReZero Season 3. Yes, Kita, yes. Uzumaki, and her sleeper is 365 Days to the Wedding. That's a very popular pick so far. I'm liking it. And then last, but certainly not, no, he's not last. Rob J, our guy from Shogo Ha and Inside the Mind of a Blur and many other places. Make sure you guys check them out. Follow him on Twitter @_Rob J. He says, most anticipated, Jesus Christ, most anticipated Deranged Detective Season 2. I forgot that I was getting Season 2 this time. I got to finish the Season 1. And 365 Days to the Wedding. Oh, so he's familiar with 365 Days to the Wedding. Okay, that's dope. And then Sleeper, he says, I have to stay on brand. The healer who was banished from his party is in fact the strongest. So if you can pull up that synopsis for me, because I don't think I've heard of that one.
The healer, yeah. Let's see.
And then he says, I think fall will be pretty decent. That's mostly the synopsis there, or the take.
And it could be because it's only showing up in Japanese for me. Party Kara Tsuhiya Saradada.
Oh, okay.
The story follows Rost, a healer who can only use one basic spell and is expelled from a first-class party for being too weak. While the leader of the party realizes how great his abilities actually are, after hiring another healer, Rost finds new friends like Narcina who support him and his rise to the top.
Yeah, I'm definitely adding that one to the list. That one is I was actually looking forward to, funny enough, after I saw that synopsis, because it sounds like it could be a nice get back. And I like get backs. I do like get back anime.
And it seems like these healers come in mad clutch for themselves.
Facts.
Or these support classes.
In very unique ways, too. Okay, and our last but not least, BoomboxBrax, a.k.a. at my BS Talk. He says, my most anticipated are Down to Down, Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War arc, The Conflict, ReZero, yes, indeed. Sleepers, you are Ms.Servant.
Whose is this?
BoomboxBrax.
You are my servant.
Yeah, You Are My Servant is his sleeper pick, which I think that's the first one for that as far as sleeper goes.
Yeah.
And You Are My Servant. I'll read this one. He says, this is a story of a maid who is all alone in the world, but finally finds a family. Told from a young age that her only worth is as a killer. Yugi had known nothing else but except cold efficiency and following orders. Now that she has a chance to leave that her past behind, she arrives at the doorstep of Hitoshi Yokawa, asking to be employed as a maid. Thus began the journey of a former assassin learning what it means to be normal. Okay, that seems interesting. Adding it to the watching for sure. Okay. And that's a wrap for the community picks. Appreciate y'all for participating in that as always. Now it's time for us to go through and find any shows that we didn't see, or maybe read some synopsises. Some synopsi, I guess. I don't know if I can know. But before we get into that, we got to state an announcement. This week, we are watching ReZero Season 1, the director's cut. I'm watching it dubbed because it's just easier that way. And I've never watched a dub of ReZero ever. So I want to see, I seen like clips of it, which was always fantastic, but I'm rewatching it dubbed with the director's cut, and I'm looking forward to that. And then next week we're going to do Season 2, and then the following week, Season 3. I think Season 3 comes out October 12th, right? Yeah, so that's perfect. It's 2 weeks that leads up to the launch of Season 3. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be so much fun. This is, for those of you that don't know, ReZero is our number one favorite anime of all time, and it's both of us. So let's see if it's still, I mean, we can even determine on if it's still number one after we watch these 2 seasons. I haven't watched it since I watched Season 2 obviously during when we started the podcast because it was a part of our podcast discussion, but I haven't seen Season 1 since I don't know, when did that launch? Probably since launch either. So
no, I've rewatched Season 1, but
I did too.
It's been a minute.
That's for sure. So obviously our most anticipated, as y'all know, is ReZero Season 3. But I'm also looking for, I heard a lot of good things about Dan. Jesus. I'm looking forward to that, but it seems like a regular shonen that it might not be for me at all. But I'm gonna give it a chance because I heard a lot of good things. 1,000 Year Blood War arc, The Conflict. Definitely looking forward to that. I cannot do. Bleach Talk is back. Bleach Talk is back when that drops.
Yeah.
We did a rewatch of the entire Bleach series during this podcast run for our long form. When we used to do long form anime, we used to talk every week. We had a Bleach Talk segment where we would talk about Bleach, and Bleach Talk is back. It is back with The Conflict. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes, especially with how it ended last time. Okay.
All right, bro.
What you got?
So, all right. So obviously, I know people have talked about this, but Dragon Ball Daima.
Yes, please. If you could do me a favor and explain to me what it is, because I have no clue.
So essentially what Dragon Ball Daima is a new storytelling of Dragon Ball.
Like from Baby Goku?
Kind of, but no, right? So here, let me read the synopsis let me find it real quick. All new series project for Dragon Ball. In the series, Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, and others characters throughout the series become younger than usual. However, this is different from similar plotline in the Dragon Ball GT anime, in which Goku reverts back into a kid after the end of the original series. Although the title Daima does not mean anything, the kanji could be interpreted as evil in English. But basically what happens is like the regular characters are essentially adults, and then we'll see Goku and Vegeta and I believe Piccolo all get reverted back to children. I think even like Goten and Trunks get reverted to children again. Like we see them as teens for a short while and they get reverted back to children alongside everyone else. But they're traversing the world all over again. Now I don't think their power gets cut back though. So I think they're still strong. But this is a continuation of the story. Basically not with just Toriyama, but what's his name? The other guy who was creating, I can't remember his name right now.
Was it like his help though?
Yeah, it's like the guy who was overseeing what Toriyama was doing, and not overseeing, but helping him just basically sort out the thoughts. I can't remember his name right now. It's like Toshima or something like that. But either way, it's going to be considered like a canon story. It's a canonical event. So I'm actually pretty hyped for it, especially based off what I've seen, because it looks amazing. The way it looks superior to Dragon Ball Super in every way. I mean, but it's got 3 studios working on it. So basically it better look good.
Yeah, as the community knows, I'm not the Dragon Ball guy, and I have zero intrigue in this one.
And that's fine, but I will be watching it. But I watched Dragon Quest, and it looks identical, and it has a very similar plot line with, power and friendship and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe you could bring a take talk on it too.
I certainly will, because I'm actually excited to watch it, just because it's fresh and it doesn't feel like it's in the same grain of Dragon Ball Super, where you're just continuing that storyline where it's like the power creep and it gets boring. This feels fresh, at least from what I've seen so far.
Fresher, I would say, because fresh isn't exactly the term, because GT kind of did something similar.
Yeah, but I'm saying it feels fresh because, we haven't had GT in damn near 20 years.
Mm-hmm. And I guess this is canonical, right? Like, this is actual lore. Right. MF Ghost comes back. I don't know if you knew that. MF Ghost comes back. That's racing one we enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to it now that we on our racing arc, by the way.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. Obviously, is it wrong to pick up Girls in the Dungeon 5? I'm looking forward to that. I usually watch that dubbed. And unfortunately, it comes out on High Dive, I think. Yeah. And they take fucking forever to dub. So I'm going to have to watch the sub of it. Which is
forever in 3 days.
Unfortunate, bro. It takes so long on High Dive to get dubbed. Shangri-La Frontier, nobody's excited for that. Funny enough. At least in our community.
Yeah, I'll watch it, but...
Same. It's
because, like, and hear me out, what Shangri-La Frontier did was it made that last boss so cool, but just the way they went about it just did not feel necessarily amazing.
Yeah, completely ruined how cool that boss was. Just
such a cool concept, and then it was like
potential. Yep.
Phoenix down.
And then just looking at everything else, I don't think there's anything else that's returning that we're obviously reincarnated as an aristocrat. That's going to be huge for us. That's going to be a big conversation piece in our Discord and in our community in general. So we're obviously looking forward to that. Let's see here. And then that's it for you said you're going to watch Blue Lock. I don't think I even want to try because I don't like sports anime. And I did watch Blue Lock season 1. That shit was awful though. It was like watching a slideshow of a bunch of monologue. I call it Yap Lock. Because all they fucking do is talk and not play the damn game. So yeah, that's it for returning stuff. Now let's get to some of this newer stuff that wasn't mentioned. Take a look at this with me, Tell. Now this has the opportunity to go one of two ways. It is JC Staff. JC Staff, not great at all. But they do got. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in the Dungeon? They do got 2.5 dimensional seduction. Which, by the way, I'm loving so far. I'm going to say this now. That show is actually fantastic. It goes through the mentality of cosplaying like a sport, but it's brilliant. They do got Duke of Death in its May, and Tsukimichi. So JC Staff got some hits. They also got a lot of misses too. So, however, Demon Lord 2099. This one looks interesting. I'm going to read the synopsis. The cyberpunk metropolis Shinjuku, a massive city-state, bedecked with neon signs, towering skyscrapers, and the latest cutting-edge technology. It is here in the year 2099 of the fused era, where the legendary demon lord Vetol has his second coming 5 centuries in the making. But this landscape is nothing like the one he's conquered all those years ago. For the fusion of magic and engineering, his elevated civilization to dazzling, unprecedented heights, Vetol may have been reduced to an historical footnote, but makes no mistake, this brave new world will be his for the taking. Now, I'm interested in this because it could go Akadama Drive or it can go Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Could be one of the two.
It could go, what is it? Shadow.
Eminence and Shadow?
Eminence and Shadow.
It could go Eminence and Shadow as well. You're absolutely right. So it's a risk, but I'm adding it to the list and I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah. I know we talked about this when the most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan.
No, we did not.
I thought somebody mentioned it, but this is one I was just looking at. By Felix Film and GA Crew, which ooh, goodness gracious, their track record. Well, they got MF Ghost on their track record,
which, I mean, it doesn't look the best, to be fair.
Yeah.
They also are doing You Are Ms.Servant, so they're doing 2. Is this a movie or a show?
Is it?
It looks like it's a TV show. It's listed.
Yeah. All right. Noel has grown up idolizing his grandfather, a legendary adventurer of the class known as Seekers. But when it comes time for Noel to set out on his own adventure on his own, much to his dismay, he turns out to be a talker, a support class with meager abilities. But Noel's got ambition in spades and the smarts to match. So he's determined to do whatever it takes to make the world know his name.
So this season has a lot of interesting stuff. As Polow and Tell as animes.
I think
that one might actually be fire.
I didn't even read that synopsis yet until we got here, and I ain't fuck with that.
Yeah, it kind of seems kind of sick.
That seems like it could go crazy.
It just might, and you just might be right there.
And him, I'm gonna say, when I say it seems like it might go crazy, I say that, and it might go crazy in the same grain of like Failure Frame.
Mm-hmm.
Where it could be better than that, but it also seems like it's got this kind of enjoyable aspect to it where you just kind of want to watch it. So take that with a grain of salt, or you know,
that's what we here for. I mean, we here to help y'all out with figuring this out. I'm gonna go to this one, man, if you don't mind. No, I'm not, because never mind. It's definitely not gonna get watched. It's about Mahjong. The cover art looked.
Oh yeah, nah, bro. I looked at that one. Absolutely not.
The cover art looked fire, so I was about to give it a try, but I changed my mind completely.
Hey, yo, you did the same thing, bro. I was like, yo, this is crazy, and I was like,
sick.
No, this is not crazy. This is not it.
I mean, look at here. Everything else that's new.
That Demon Lord retry?
No. Everything here we already read. I think it's time for us to pick our sleepers, bro. This is tough because I didn't look ahead, so I don't even know where the fuck I'm even go this season. What was my sleeper last? Oh, Shoshimin. Shoshimin was my sleeper last season. Your sleeper was. What was your sleeper last season, Till?
Oh, you mean right now? This current season?
Yes, current season. How can I?
Wistoria, bro.
Wistoria. Okay. Yeah. Duh. All right.
I'm thinking. Oh yeah, we've been watching Gas the whole time. It's Wistoria.
Yeah, true. For this one, like I said, I have no idea where I'm gonna go for this sleeper.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm kind of stuck, and normally I go first. So I have no idea, brother.
Let me read this one. Loner in another world. When a rubric loner, Hakaru, gets transported. This is not my sleeper, by the way. I'm just reading it. He gets transported to another world with his class. He's not big on adventuring, but he wouldn't mind some cool magic of his own. Unfortunately, the magic powers are first come, first served. And by Hikaru's turn, there's nothing good left to choose from. Now he'll have to take on this fantasy world the hard way, with a hodgepodge of selection of bizarre skills, and with all the girls tagging along. Okay, no, that's not gonna be good, but I'm gonna add it to my watching anyway. All right, man. Yeah, I don't know which way to lean here. It's so many ways I can go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Yakuza Fiancé as my sleeper.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do it, but I don't have an inkling of anything else I can choose here.
Okay.
Yeah, Yakuza Fiancé, because I feel like we gotta watch it. Yeah, that's my sleeper pick.
Well,
I'm hoping you go here, but you probably won't.
I don't know what I want to, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's hard. So I just picked. I just saw and picked. I didn't even second guess it. I just went.
I am gonna go with I'm gonna watch this one anyway, so whatever, fuck it. Damn. I'm gonna go with Demon Lord 2099.
Okay, that's exactly the one I hope you picked, so it can force me to watch it.
Yeah, so like I saw it, I was looking at that one. I was like, ooh. And then I saw JC staff. I looked down their stuff, like, and this was like 10 minutes into the podcast. I was like, as soon as we started looking, I was like, that's the first one I clicked on, looked at it, and we ain't said nothing about it. So I was like, ooh. Demon Lord 2099 is the one I'm choosing.
That is the exact one I was hoping you choose. I'm gonna read this one though, because this is one I didn't see until just now.
And I was gonna say I was stuck. The one before you said I was gonna say I was stuck between let this grieving soul retire. Woe is the weakling who leads the strongest party, which basically is what is it?
That's the one Rob chose.
Let's become treasure hunters or something like that.
Oh, is that what that is? No, let's become treasure hunters. Hold on. Let this grieving soul retire. No, that's different. This is different from what Rob chose. Okay. I was just about to read. This is the one I was about to read, by the way.
Okay, go ahead. Because that's the other one I was looking at. I was like, it's gonna be this or that.
It's the golden gauge for treasure hunters, adventurers hungry for wealth, fame, power, and glory, who risk their lives in treasure vaults throughout the world. Let's become treasure hunters, quote unquote. Kirai and his childhood friends swore to become the greatest of them all, but that dream should have died the day that Kirai realized he wasn't cut out for the job. Yet expectations continue to mount right along with Kirai's or whatever fear for his life. While his childhood friend climbs closer towards their dream, this grieving soul has one simple wish: to pack it all in and retire. Yeah, I was looking at this. I'm like, yeah, I'm adding this to the list, but I don't think it's gonna be good.
And that's the thing, is that like I feel like it could be good. Like it could be good. It could be fire, but it also could just miss entirely.
Yeah, it doesn't even have a place where you can watch it listed yet. So already not looking too hot.
Yeah.
But so all in all, finale wrap tell. To me personally, this fall season is looking fucking stacked with a lot of shit unexpectedly that might turn out to be something or absolutely nothing. So it's the perfect in between. We're going to be the guinea pigs for y'all, as we always do every anime season, to watch all of these shows and let you know if they're good or not. But there are a lot of shows in a list. And just to put it in perspective, I'm going to list the shows. I'm not going to list the shows. I'm going to count how many shows we have here that's returning, that we're planning to watch. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because Blue Boxes, you're watching that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There are 25 shows that actually look extremely interesting that we're going to be watching. 24 for me though, because I'm not watching a blue box until I hear some good news about it first.
And actually, I actually counted mine specifically. I actually have 33, bro.
33. Jesus, because you're watching Blue Lock.
It's a couple of different ones I've clicked on, like Mechanical Arms, which is a mecha that I know you're not gonna watch.
Let's get to know my check waifu. It's Tell turn to pull up the list. It's my turn to roll the random number generator. Or is it? I don't remember. It don't matter.
Let's do it.
This season has turned out to be a thicker one.
It is a thick season.
Yeah, like I thought we had a break.
If it's bad, because there's a lot of stuff that could be amiss.
It could be terrible. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we're gonna all discuss that. We got about 3 weeks and then almost damn near a month till all this stuff starts to roll out anyway. So one of two things. It could be great or it could be terrible. We're gonna find out here shortly. All right. I'm rolling the random number generator. 69. Nice.
Okay, favorite Josei anime.
Shout out to AniList that just gives you all the options.
Wait, how you get the Josei to pull up for you?
I went over to anime. Browse, and then anime, and then genres is the second option. And I just typed Josei, which is Josei.
Oh, you know what though? I was trying to do the advanced search. That's why.
I'm gonna go with Recovery of the MMO Junkie. This is the favorite one I've seen in this list so far. I really enjoyed that one.
And then I'm gonna go with Life Lessons with Yorimichi-san. It was funny.
Yeah,
I know Polow didn't watch it, but to this day it was hilarious.
All right, we're gonna take this quick break, and when we come back, we are going to spoil yatagarasu. We're going to spoil Oshinoko, and we're also going to spoil
Too Many Losing Heroines.
Too Many Losing Heroines. Yes, for Kamari's rap. We'll be right back after these. And welcome back to episode 268 of Mic Check Waifu. We're going to spoil Too Many Losing Heroines last for our guy Rob Stone, because I know he's watching the dub version of it and it's kind of behind. Yeah, it's kind of behind. Actually, way behind when you really look at it.
Yeah,
as far as the dub goes, actually, it might not be that behind. It might be 2 or 3 episodes, but however, still, we're not going to spoil that until last. Starting off with yatagarasu, bro. We have to. The past 2 weeks of yatagarasu was insane. Wouldn't you say?
So, yes. Yatagarasu. So last week we had the tunnels and kind of understanding all of that, right?
Yep. Not only that, but prior weeks is we learned that fucking humans exist in this world like normal.
Right.
Which was fucking crazy. It was an Astro Lost in Space moment for me.
Yes. Cause obviously, you know what I mean? But it was the conversation about humans, right? Because what we learned is that the human is not their default form.
Their default form are the ravens. They're just ravens.
Yeah, and it's the same with the monkeys. The human is not their default form. They just take on the human form. So basically what we're doing, and this is kind of dope, right? We're watching one of these like spiritual anime where the human would normally go into the spiritual world, but in reverse.
Well said. Well said.
Because it had that really cool imagery and ideology that like we're tackling this world in this landscape of like supernatural humans, but it's not that at all. You know, I mean, these are spiritual beings from the beginning. They're just puppeteering or masquerading as humans. But the fact there is still a lot of controversy within how their society runs within themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because humans have no idea they exist, and they had no idea humans existed. Only a certain few had the knowledge of humans ever existing, and they have. And you saw in that episode 2 weeks ago of scriptures of motorcycles, cars, and boats and shit like that they know nothing about, obviously, because of where they come from. And then the fact that their bones are just so different to what the yatagarasu and the monkey people see, that it's extremely, it was I don't know how it was possible, but it made the show even more intriguing. And the fact that next week is the last episode pisses me off. I want more so bad.
And what's cool is that they left clues to this, though. You know what I mean?
They did.
Because anybody who died, they did not die in a human form.
No, they did.
Other than what like we saw today, right? Because I feel like the woman who died, she died and you only saw a raven body.
Right, when she got pushed off.
The monkeys who died, and I mean, I'm trying to figure out, and because I think I'm actually wrong, yeah. But I think that majority of the people we saw die, they did not die in a human form.
I think you're right until what's her name's father.
Right.
Which is this week.
So I'm thinking like, man, that's crazy. It's interesting. What are the parameters for dying in a human form other than like, but regardless of that, the scenario that we find ourselves in is interesting. And then we get the whale story. You know what I mean? Finding out that they essentially the monkey people or whatnot have been here the entire time. They've been underneath there, which we already kind of knew, but it's more about like, I guess how they are manipulating the situation in a sense. But it also makes me think, did the Underground King, have we seen him turn into a raven?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen not many people turn into ravens, to be fair.
So, but when I say that, it makes me wonder, right? Because they were specifically talking about how this one, none of the other monkeys really talked in a understandable language for them. That was spoken of in this episode. But did we also, like I'm saying, did we see the Underground Kings turn into anything at all? Could he be a monkey and just, basically helping that underground society basically.
No, it's 100% proven that he's not, because he's protecting the people of Yatagarasu by, obviously, because in this episode, he's the reason why her father was caught, right, and was dastardly destroyed the way he was, because he caught him and strung him up for the people, because he put Yatagarasu, or he put Yamochi in danger. So,
right,
it's the concept is super interesting. The fact that human bones, how are the monkey getting to humans? They're on the outside world, right? How far in the outside world do you have to go to even see a human? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they? It looks like they're in like the mountains of fucking, I don't know where. You would assume Japan,
but yeah, that's the thing. But we also don't know the parameters of the world, because like we know that
are they in the sky? Like, are they just pure? Like, is it islands up in the sky? How the fuck are the monkeys there then? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much that we don't know.
Yeah. And that's also another cool aspect of it, because we have to keep finding out, right?
Yes. But next week is the last episode. Yeah.
So season 2, maybe. I don't know.
I pray, bro. It needs a season 2. This anime is spectacular, man, in every way possible.
It's still to this very moment a surprising
discovery
envelope of things unfolding. Yeah. It's just none of this. It's and here's what keeps me in like interest with Yatagarasu, is that this part that we got with this transition, it still to me was not expected. I'm still like just in awe of like what we're getting, because it's like, yo, where did this come from?
Yeah,
they like our whole philosophy with the show, so to speak, is on the back foot now, because we're still trying to catch up with what's happening.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, as viewers, yeah, we know what's happening, but we're in a state of trying to figure out what's happening with our main characters.
To speak on what Rob Stone said he thinks it's going to diversify. Like, he thinks the East, the West, and the South are going to take advantage of this particular situation. Maybe, but I don't even think that's at the purview of the front of the show anymore at this particular point. I think this part is strictly the mysticism on the magic ability of keeping a barrier secure and figuring out why the monkeys are doing what they're doing, because that conversation between the prince and that monkey in the well was the most intriguing shit that I feel like we could have got 16 more episodes on.
Right.
Because no idea why he knew so much, why he can speak the language of Yatagarasu, why he could, why it seems he knew a lot about True Kinu and the history of Yatagarasu in general. Maybe, and this is just kind of goes to what you said, what if he was the king of the underground? Or maybe it was maybe he was the big guy. Yeah. That was like the assistant to the king of the underground.
Yeah, but to me, then that means that if he is the big guy, the king of the underground would have to know what he is.
Why? How?
You think he would just blindly trust him?
There's a well that leads strictly to where the monkey people are inside of Yatagarasu. If you remember, Yatagarasu had a scene where they were trying to confirm that everybody was a Yatagarasu, and it was like checkpoints, and it was one guy looking real shifty, and we don't know who he was or what he was doing exactly. So, right. And the show doesn't do anything for no reason. There's always a reason behind it. At least not yet. Doesn't do anything for no reason, so there's something to do with that. Somebody got snuck in or snuck out. Like, it's something going on to where we just don't know it yet. I really did think the daughter was, I was like Yukiya. I believe that she was also a snake. I thought she was also selling the human drug. But it turns out that's wrong. It was her mother. Hello?
I mean, I'm still trying to like I said, I'm still trying to grasp the concept of what we're looking at, because the drug circulating, I think there was obvious intent obviously with that, right? Is it to throw off even like the tracks of what the monkey people may be doing? Is there a way that they could be getting in and I don't even know, like making use of themselves or using that to find a way to get in, right? Because if it's a drug that's wanted, you know what I mean? They say, hey, I'll get you this, but you got to let me get in for whatever reason, like we got with that whale. Because clearly we don't know what the monkey's life is like on the other side.
Yeah, you're right.
So they could be trying to be like, look, I want to be over here with y'all.
We know they just eat people though. You can't call it cannibalism because there's a whole different kind of race.
Yeah, but they could be running out of people. You know what I mean?
Humans?
Yeah, and I'm saying they could be running out of people because, like you said, if the access to humans is limited, we don't know how much access they have to humans. They could be running out.
Yeah, because how do they get humans in the first place? Is a piece of the puzzle we're missing. So they're like, okay, so we can't get humans, then why was the guy delivering food and booze down to the well if these monkey people just eat humans or yatagarasu? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a weird part. Maybe it's a plot hole that we just found. What you said makes more sense than what we saw. Right? Like they're running out of humans, so they're trying to find a way to get up to eat yatagarasu because they take shapes of humans.
Mm-hmm. But
the guy was delivering chicken and fruit and booze and shit down.
So also with that, it doesn't mean that humans are the only thing they eat. It just means it's like probably their favorite thing. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their favorite food. But you also look at how big they are when they transform into their monkey form. They're huge, right? So a human probably ain't necessarily enough for everybody, and they do save them, right? You know, we know that they do save some of them, so they're not just completely eating everything they see.
Yeah.
They eat the men first and save the women and children for later. Mm-hmm. So it's like they are saving some so that they can. So there's some consciousness to the way they're eating.
It's a very, very strange situation that we're in.
It is a strange situation. I ain't never had to talk about people getting ate other than Attack on Titan.
It's like this is a concept that feels out of the realm of political anymore.
Right. Because it was very political to begin with.
Which I loved. And now go ahead.
But is it really though? Like out of the realm of political? And I'm 100%. Saying is it out of the realm of political because we don't know what like I said, we don't know what the monkey's reasoning is for this. We don't know what their level of consciousness is.
But I don't think that has anything I don't think that has to do with politics. I think that has to do with the mysticism of the human race and their living situation, right? I think
you don't think there's no politics of how they even got in the first place. You don't think there's none of that, because there could be politics with one of the east, north, south, or west. There could be
the well is in the north.
With them.
The well is in the north, so I don't know, man. It's tough to even guess in this show because you think then you have no fucking idea.
Well, hopefully we find out soon.
Next week is the last episode, so that's gonna be obviously a doozy, bro. A big fat doozy. It's so captivating though. Like I haven't been. I talk about this every time, but it always has me at the edge of my seat, wondering and thinking and overthinking. But what if this? And then I see the next scene and it doesn't be that, and it's just great. It's just a great show in general. If you haven't watched Yatagarasu, turn it on. You will not be disappointed. It's great. It's fantastic.
It's been refreshing.
Very, 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 very refreshing. All right. Moving on to another one. Oshinoko blew me the fuck back. And the reason why I say it blew me back is because it took everything that we've been talking about this entire season and flipped it on its head. This is a murder mystery. 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 And for the murder mystery 2 weeks ago to be solved like that and a snap of a fucking finger, it's over. It completely takes away his motivation, his everything that he did all of this for what, 15, 16 years, because he's 16 years old. 16 years that he's dealt with this, roughly. Gone. But now, let me continue though, because
I know you feel probably the same thing I'm feeling. Because
with that, I was kind of disappointed. I was kind of disappointed at that rap at first. Then the next episode happens. When the next episode happens and everything's going the way of the idol, I'm like, okay, whatever. Y'all get y'all chance to shine now, because we had literally damn near the entire season of the play and Aqua and his situation. It was fucking perfect. It was so well done. So, okay, I'm down with the idol shit now. It's decent. It's cool. And then they say something where Ruby says something like, I wonder what the doctor will feel. I remember the fact that she don't know that the doctor is Aqua. Oh shit, that's fucking crazy. And then they're going on a vacation, and they're going to the vacation to where the place where the doctors died. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot all about, he doesn't know who killed him or his situation. So it kind of perked me back up in a situation where I thought I was going to be down on Oshinoko because of the way they kind of wrapped it up. And they intentionally did that to rebuild it back up again, to take us to this point where I'm like, okay, I'm back. I'm captivated like I never left.
And so, and hear me out. So I had this uneasy feeling.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Uneasy. Sorry.
And I only say that because exactly what you said. And I say it's uneasy because it was such a quick and easy way to tie this up. Oh, well, no. It feels like misdirection to me.
How?
I'm saying that if the dad was the killer, right?
I forgot it. Scenario, I'm stupid. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
If they say the dad was the killer, the dad hired someone to be the killer. If that was a scenario, he committed suicide, he's gone. It still feels uneasy because, like you said, we get this opportunity to probably figure out who their real killer was, right? I feel like we might get to a point to where finding out the dad did this might not even necessarily be true. It might be something entirely different. And that's why I feel like there might be misdirection. That's why I feel like that director might know a little bit more, like the director that he is posing or seeing as a father figure might know a bit more than we truly know. He might just 100% be on Aqua's side. This is just me being a skeptic here.
Okay. So
but I'm uneasy because I feel like there's more, and it just tied up too quickly for me to be like, yeah, that's right.
Let's take this back then. Sorry for the mic noise, y'all. Let's take this back then. Let's get the facts straight. Let's do this like we're playing a game of Clue. We know that Aqua's dad is the same dad as the actor that he was just acting with. We know that for 100% fact. DNA evidence prove it. The guy bounced around between different women in the industry because it was to basically fucking, he's basically sweet talked his way, hold around the industry and talk to these bunch of different women. Which,
and hear me out, that leads me to believe it could be the wife that he had because he was married, right? It could be the wife who ordered the killing, which I'm just saying this, just listen to me. I'm just saying it could be the wife. It could be another estranged lover he had. It could be someone who was jealous of him.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the scenarios open up to where it didn't necessarily have to be the dad.
Sure.
And there's more information that we need to get out of this.
The matter of fact is the dad probably was the one to do it so he can hide his relationship with her. Essentially is what I was getting at there. Like it's pretty poignant to the fact that it was that, because we know the killer is gone. The killer that actually killed him is gone, out of the question. So we don't really need to go into that Pandora's box. The problem I'm having now is that it just makes sense that it will be he's gone. Like it would be him to hire that killer just so he can hide the fact that he was his wife, as you said, which is, you know, his older brother's mother. To hide the fact from his wife that he was with somebody else. But like, why would I really want to go back and rewatch season 1? And also, you said their killer. When you said their killer, the girl Ruby died from cancer.
Yeah, and I didn't mean specifically.
I know.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to make sure that's clear for the audience that we don't think we don't know what we're talking about. But
yeah, because he was killed.
He was killed. Yep.
Not Ruby. She died of natural causes.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's the most interesting part about this now, though, is the fact that Ruby has no idea that her doctor is her brother. That's one thing that I don't know would ever even be solved. Does the doctor know that it's her? Do you remember?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Neither of them know who the other is.
Okay.
They promised to basically
ask those questions.
Fire.
Yes, you're right. I remember now. Yep. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's left for this now, other than the idol stuff, and I'm not looking forward to that. Because I mean, I'm not saying I don't look forward to that because I don't like Oshinoko. I'm not looking forward to that because I don't care. I don't care about Arima. I don't care about idol stuff. Ruby, I do care about, but I just don't care about idol stuff. So it's kind of hard to even factor the fact that I even got to sit through that, to be honest.
Right. The thing is that this anime has been so, especially the last few episodes have been so intense. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing though, right? Because I'm not let down by this episode because I feel like we had the emotional outlet of him feeling all that rage and depression and anger and everything from the death of I, and he acted that out. And then we get this kind of like cool down episode, and then we get an episode where all of that gets released, and we finally get a smile from Aqua that felt genuine. I know, like you said, you're not really feeling the idol. The idol
career, yeah.
Which I also can agree with that. It's not my favorite.
Because we don't really care about these girls. Besides Ruby, obviously, we love Ruby.
They haven't built them up enough yet, right?
Exactly.
But it was a reprieve from not just the last few episodes we had that were really intense emotionally. It was a reprieve from the drama that we basically had from the first season to say, let that go. And that reprieve is what made me feel the misleading, context where it was like, I'm not sure, because it was too easy to reprieve, which that could be it. That could be it.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. So I could be wrong, and this is just gonna be my guesstimation. I do think that's it. However, what we got at the very end of this most recent episode with this girl who looks obviously supernatural. Mm-hmm. There is some supernatural aspects to this fact because it's based off of reincarnation, being born into the birth of I in that particular hospital at that particular time, where these particular people who just happen to love this lady happen to come about. Now we got this white haired girl, red eyes at the end, smiling, so diabolical, so dastardly. Like, what the fuck is this about? That's where I think this is going to lead. Now, it could pull a yatagarasu. It was leaning more towards the murder mystery side of things. Maybe now this is a supernatural part to kind of explain how the reincarnations worked or why it happened and who did this for why. And maybe there's some fucking time travel shit we don't even know about. Whatever the case may be, this girl has to have some significance. That is what I am most intrigued by because of the end of this most recent episode. But I do feel the same. I won't say let down. I won't say disappointed because none of those feelings are accurate. I felt, damn, what's next? Kind of. Yeah. I can't figure out what's next because the episode was so fucking bubbly and, very cartoon, very anime, which is something this show has not been doing. Funny enough, it's been more of a dramatic piece.
It's been introspective. Even the episode where, like I said, we got the director and the manga writer. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All of that was like, there was so much context, so much introspection that when you get to this, you're like, okay, so this is an anime still.
Yep. It went full anime on our ass. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it though. Obviously, it's one of our favorite shows. So
easy.
I'm looking forward to it. I really hope she stays with Akane though. I don't be with Kana, please. My life is going to be ruined when that happens.
Oh yeah, there is that conversation. Yeah. Womanizer.
Akane is the best. She literally is the best in this entire show. So I guess we should prepare for disappointment because Akane is she's just so popular.
Prepare for disappointment, brother.
I just see it coming. Anyway, moving on to last but certainly not least. Too many losing heroines.
Oh my goodness. This anime is beautiful.
It really is. These last few episodes of Kormi's arc was so well done. And I didn't think it was even possible to, and this is about to sound crazy, I didn't have a problem with her. I thought she was fine. I thought she was just the normal, atypical, be usual, shy character. But for this entire arc, made me just love her so much. As the type of person she is, because she just suffers from social anxiety. She can't stand to be around a bunch of people. I relate. It's just it was very satisfying and disappointing because you could see like she had this anxiety filled girl had the courage to say during that camp, confess her love to somebody who she admired and looked up to. Obviously, it went the wrong way. Instead of shutting down and being put into even more of a neat or an introvert, stay-at-home hermit person, she decides to take up the task of fucking becoming the president of the literature club and doing this event, mostly by herself, in the end getting help from the others, but mostly by herself and just giving it her all. And that shit was so inspiring. It made me love her character so much that I kind of truly hope that Kazuhiko maybe end up with her more so than Yanami for sure. At first I was a lemon main. I was for sure a lemon main. But Kamari, she won me over big time.
Yeah, and hear me out. I said that. I said that there might be a moment where they bring her into the light, and the thing is that and it's kind of funny. This is another show where we can say that they don't do anything unintentionally.
Yes.
They let her take a backseat for so long.
Yes.
To demonstrate how much of a social introvert she was. Mm-hmm. She was there.
The whole time.
She was there, but she was in the background shaking.
Yep.
And
her voice actress too, by the way. Her voice actress too, by the way, killed that shit. She was so good.
The conversation talking about how, no, I think that you do more for her than you think. That you balance her out. That you are a person that she can rely on more than you think. She relies on you more than you think.
And that was between Kodo, which is the current vice president, and Kazuhiko.
I love it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I also love that when we get to these moments in these conversations, we always realize how selfish love is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, we always realize how selfish love is. Because, I mean, and that's the thing, though, is that love is a selfish thing in a lot of ways. And it can be unselfish. But these are children who have no idea, and they're just now learning how to express themselves in a way in love. So they're talking about how I did this selfishly, or how I did enjoy our time together, but I needed this from you, and I didn't know if she would take a. I love how they do this. I love how they demonstrate these dynamics and walk through these moments with these children, so to speak, who are reaching their adulthood. And learning these scenarios.
You know what I'm learning about this?
What's that, bro?
Is what I like about this, I should say, is that they're learning that love, and I said this from a quote I heard, I mentioned it on Facebook, but love is not a feeling, it's a choice. And I think they're learning that as they get denied the feeling of love You know what I'm saying? And start to understand that there's the choice that is within love, like the commitment, the behavior. Like what did the quote say? The quote said, "You don't, you don't love." I'm gonna go to it because I think it's pertinent to this point that I'm trying to make, because it's very, 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 very strong on what I think these kids are actually going through. It's love is a choice, a commitment, a behavior, not a feeling. You choose every single day to love, regardless of how you feel. So I think they're learning that the feeling of love that they have right now is something that can be let go of.
Right.
It's something that you can not feel anymore. Now you got to learn that you got to choose to find somebody else to love, or to look elsewhere, or to get over that feeling that you thought you had. I think that's huge for these kids at a point where they're impressionable, and
yeah.
I don't know where this goes. I think what episode are we on right now?
The second to last episode.
Second to last. I think you're right. Yeah. So we got 2 more episodes.
2 more. Yeah.
So 2 more weeks before the review, by the way. But I don't know where this goes from here, because now, in conclusion, roughly everybody arcs is done. Yanami had the conversation with her friend already, with her guy friend, when they were under that awning and they were talking, and then Kazuhiko stepped in and he was talking back, blah, blah, blah. Her arc was done there. Lemon arc was done after they went to go visit her at her grandmother's house, and then they had that conversation at the planetarium. Now, Kamari's arc is finished. Where do we go from here? As far as, it has to be the main character, right?
Yeah, Kazuhiko hasn't had his arc yet.
It has to be his arc. So where do you think, as a gut check?
I don't know. Don't put that on me.
We got to gut check this one. We got to gut check this one. For these last 2, which has to be his arc, where do we lead? Where do we go?
Maybe he comes to the same realization that we have come to, that they are learning about love, and maybe he makes a choice to choose to love somebody. Because he has clearly been not necessarily avoidant, but uninterested, right? So what was that anime we watched like a season or 2 ago where they wanted to attempt to fall in love and they did?
Oh, My Sleeper, from a couple of seasons ago. I forget what it's called, but
that was last season or something like that. But either way, I think that he's going to make a choice to fall in love. And I think that the final episode of this season will be him not directly making a choice, and then we'll go into season 2 where it's going to be him trying to choose between the 3 girls.
My choice. Okay, good. I like where your head at is there. So it's kind of goes with that, almost in a hand-in-hand kind of aspect of it, because if you put both arcs together, it's probably going to be what it is. But here's my thought, and I'll be cooking with these, so stick with me. I think these next 2 episodes, I think this most recent episode comes to the point where the girls themselves, Yanami comes across Kazuhiko. She does something. He does something with her, helps her out in some way, where she finds out that maybe she chooses to love Kazuhiko. He does something to impress her, and do something that gives her goosebumps, or her heart skips a beat, or whatever that case may be. He gives her something that causes that she likes him, but she keeps to herself. Lemon comes across something that she realized, like, oh shit, Kazuhiko's been there for me for this and this and this and this and this and that. He's been there for me. Her heart skips a beat. She's starting to find out that she likes Kazuhiko. Kamari, something he does for her, on top of everything else he's done for everybody else, makes her heart skip a beat, and she thinks, maybe I like Kazuhiko. So they all, and within this next episode, I think all of them find something that they determine the fact that this whole time this guy's been here for me. He's helped me out. I think I like him. And then the last episode would be them coming to the conclusion that it is that. So we're going to all confess our love in different ways, different scenes, maybe at the same time, maybe even individually. But it's all going to be the girls coming to him. Not necessarily him finding them. The girl's coming to him. That's what I think.
They about to pull a Love is Indivisible by Twins, but with friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's crazy.
It's gonna be an unintentional, like something happens, like a fucking bump, or he catches him falling down. Some atypical, be usual, romantical thing that happens that they're like, do I like Kazuhiko? Maybe I like Kazuhiko. Maybe I like Kazuhiko. And it's just like,
or
go ahead.
I'm gonna throw one more in.
Mm-hmm.
A new character comes in, and she's always like Kazuhiko, and she confesses her love for him. And they're all like,
but I think I like him. Yeah.
And they all have it right there.
I like that. I like that even better.
It'll be like a character who's been in the show the whole time that just been in the background.
Yep.
And haven't really said much, but they all, and because the show is so detailed, it's such a beautiful show that the background characters are always drawn out. They're always noticeable or visible. A character who's always been there, and it's like, boom, I like him.
And let's date. And he ends up dating there, and the other girls is like, fuck. We like him. We're jealous.
Crazy.
Yeah, that'd be fire, man. I like that. I'm at Polow Born Fly on all social media.
I'm at King Telliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mic Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mic Check Waifu Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And as always, Mic Check.
Oh yeah.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?